starting.
Welcome back to another exciting evening of YS Convo. You don't know, say, we have a nice topic for you tonight once again. Also, our special guest in the house that I'll be introducing to you guys soon. Of course, as you know, tonight's topic is one that we don't really talk about often. Our dads being held at a dads are being held at a high standard while mothers aren't. And also, what is the ultimate sin in a relationship? And if you commit that sin, are you expected to be forgiven? So, of course, you know, you have JJ over here, so aka Jason. You have Peter Gay over there, so Panifaris over there, so. And of course, our special guest tonight is none other than Mrs. Vincent in the building via Zoom, Dr. Anita Vincent. You want to say hi for our viewers, Anita?
Put your hands together.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
All right. So, of course, we're going to go right into the topic. Just going to make a quick run, pay some bills, and of course, we'll be right back.
Ship for less. We ship just about anything that you may want to have purchased overseas. Our rates are very competitive compared to all the, let's say, the name brand in the industry. We do free delivery in and around Montego Bay, on the outskirts of Montego Bay. You can visit our Instagram page at #ShipForLessJA, Facebook ShipForLessJA, or you can even visit our website at ShipForLessJA.com. We are located at 4 Sewell Avenue, which is more commonly known as Upper Deck. So for all the Montegonians, you should know where Upper Deck is located, and we're located off the steep hill on Top Road. Check out our webpage, complete our sign up, which is free, less than 2 minutes. Make sure to sign up.
Go tell a friend about YS Convo, because listen, YS Convo is the next big thing. We are going to take you places. We are promoting artists, promoters, entertainers, everybody. Guys, remember, like, share, and subscribe, because the YS Convo are the next big thing. Is it me?
Yes.
Welcome back. Once again, of course, before we go on further, so we have to big up his sponsors. Ship for less. If you're not ship for less, that means you'll ship for more. El Castellito, the nice resort, something they go already right up there in a Brownstone. For your nice like a weekend getaway, your monthly getaway, as long as you want to go for right up a Brownstone, they say you want to go. You understand? Yeah. So, big up on yourself still. Of course, as we say, we go dive straight in a tonight topic. I don't know if Peter Gay want to start and kick off if you well, Peter Gay start roll the ball for you tonight. I'm sorry, I forgot I have English. For our viewers, Peter Gay will be taken away tonight in regards to the topic. Peter Gay.
Which of the topic first?
Our dads being held at a high standard to take care of their kids while mothers aren't. What are your views on that?
My views on this, I don't think they are, because when you check the ratio, you have single mothers, and you hardly find kids without a mother, but you find them without a father. So I don't think so.
So you don't think that, all right? Mrs. Vincent, what's your view? I know there is a cultural difference where that is concerned, but what's your views on your culture and based on what you know so far where Jamaica culture is concerned?
Well, yes, and there's yes and no. I'm going to say yes and no. So there is a difference. I think that it's different in the United States, whereas the majority of our single parents are females, and they are primary caregivers. However, after researching some of the data, what I was able to find that those who are single parents and are fathers tend to be a little more responsible, and the female absent parent does not pay child support and does not contribute to the household once they have left the household. So I thought that was a pretty interesting fact. Whereas here in the United States, many absent fathers do pay child support. They have no other choice but to do so. It's either court ordered, and many of them comply with that. However, the statistics show that almost 90% of absent mothers do not adhere to child support or contribute to the household once they have gone. And judges are very reluctant to even order child support for absent mothers. So I would say here, it goes both ways. I think the culture in Jamaica is a lot different, whereas we have a lot of resources that are available to us as single mothers. And sometimes we don't rely on the father to be the caretaker or to co-parent with us. So that's a crutch. I believe it to be a crutch. So yeah, it goes both ways. It really depends on each individual situation. And again, those are the statistics, that's the data. Now, Jason, what I will say is, I looked at the question, and after doing some research in Jamaica, it actually shows that 80% of single parents are mothers, and they are in the household with their children. So I think that sometimes maybe focusing on the smaller portion of the men who do step forward and care for their children is something that maybe depends on the culture, the family dynamics. I'll tell you, and it's strange because before I was really involved with the Jamaican culture as much as I am. My husband is Jamaican. The stereotype in the United States is that most Jamaican men have children with multiple women and they don't care for any of them unless they're in the household with that particular woman. So that is the stereotype. However, I don't know many of them. The majority of the Jamaican men that I know are very good fathers and take very good care of their children here in the United States as well as in Jamaica.
All right, thank you so much for that. All right, my take on it where Jamaica culture is concerned, the stats can definitely show one thing, but the reality shows something else. Reason for that is in the US, as the stats would have shown, that most of the females, once they're no longer in a relationship, they really don't contribute much, if any at all. In Jamaica, it's kind of similar in most cases where some of the men is concerned. I would say maybe like 70-30. The difference is though, a lot of these men that's at times you hear that they're not taking care of their kids. It's not that a lot of them are not taking care of their kids, but the expectation of the mothers, they're not meeting expectation. So if for example, if father A is working, say 20,000 a week and is only able to provide 5,000 a week because they have 3 kids and he's only able to provide 5,000 a week. I'm just saying, if that is the case, and then that same father move on to another relationship, have another child, that mother, in most cases, the mothers here in Jamaica, all of a sudden the 5,000 is not good enough anymore. So if that father is not able to increase the amount of funds, then what they start to do in most cases is start to use the child now as a pawn, where it might lead to family court, all of that stuff. Now, when you turn the tables, you will realize that you don't really find fathers do the same to mothers when they don't take part in the child's life financially. Most fathers, they know straight off the bat that, listen, it's like you're already expected to provide. So if the mother decides that she doesn't want to help, you just have to do it on your own. Most men I can tell you, like, from even experience, will not, and I repeat, will not go to a family court to seek any form of assistance from the government to force a mother to help them with kids. And it's not something that a lot of Jamaican men even talk about. A lot of them just, just do it on their own, pretty much. The reality of it is, I think that in most houses, you have way more single mothers than you have single fathers. The difference is when the mothers are single, most time the father assists. When the table is turned and the father of the kids, in most cases the mother doesn't assist. And the reason for that is I'm not sure if it's a culture thing, but most time when you find a mother that leaves the child to live with the father, that mother, how would I put it? I would put I would use a scale to say, listen, this person care like maybe 4% out of 10 for that child. In most cases, the mother don't normally care much. So you don't really find it happen a lot, but when it does happen, I can say this much. Fathers just doesn't get the level of respect nowhere close to where the mothers get. And it's something that not much men talk about, as I said. And reason for that is most people will just say, well, see, the stats say this. That's why I said the stats might not equal to what the actual reality is here.
But listen, you mentioned there's two things I want to take away from that. Number one, as a mom who was a single parent for a long time, you said if the gentleman is paying, the dad is paying $5,000 and then he has another child, then the $5,000 isn't good enough. Please explain to me why it is that the other child should suffer because the man went out there and had other children that then he may not be able to afford. And then the other child who was getting $5,000, it's taking away from that child. Just because the man decided he wanted to go have more children doesn't mean the mother's expenses are less now because he decided to have more children. How is that fair to that mother?
No, it's not a case in which your money will decrease, That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you will still be getting the 5,000 that you were getting before. However, because of personal ego, because our bitterness, in most cases, the mother decide that this $5,000 is no longer good enough. Okay. So it's not a case in which your 5,000 will now be decreased by 20% because there is now a new child. No, I would expect that father, if you know that you now have a second or a third child in another relationship, if you now know that your 40 hours work week is not going to be able to cover that because it was barely working for one child, you now know that you have to step up either your hours or try to get an additional income. But I'm not saying they're going to shorten years. I'm just saying that in most cases, once they move on to another relationship, that's what normally comes in. And it's not just on the women because it go vice versa. A lot of men do it just the same. Like everything is all fine until that female moves on in another relationship. Then the mothers have to like begging the fathers to do their part and all of this. It happened in both cases. But I'm just saying, I noticed that when it comes to the mothers, like there is so much support, a lot of support. Like I went to the family court like a few months ago, and I took the time out to just observe and listen to the mothers there. Like I literally hear mothers plotting with kids to go inside, face a judge, to tell a lie, just to get an increase. And I was like people really got this low, like. You are in a relationship with this person, you know this person's situation, regardless of what might have happened in your relationship causing a breakup. You know the person's situation, but now because of bitterness, the person move on to another relationship. All of a sudden now, you want to just stress that person left, right, and center. It tough. Peter Gay. Wait. Oh God, what do you think, Peter?
Sometimes I don't think that they really need the increase of money. I just think that the child, your child is going to get less attention. So you asking for something else, probably you just realize they need to do better. Not necessarily mean the money you want, but I think we are here together as a family. things happen, so you have to leave. When you have to leave, remember, we were as a family, so the child is used to mommy and daddy being here. So sometimes I think when they ask for extra, and I really extra they want, but they just need you to be there for the child. Because 9 out of 10 persons that I know, once they are not together, the child is just left to be raised alone by mommy. Daddy only comes around when he feels like, or if he needs to drop off something, and that's just it. And I just think that is just wrong.
Miss Vincent, you want to add or take or anything from that?
I think I have more questions because it is so different in our culture. Do you think that it's more? I'm gonna tell you, Jamaican men are the most proud people that I know in this entire world. They don't ask for help. They don't want to admit when they are wrong. And when it comes, yeah, you know it. I'm going to generalize it for real. And so when it comes to those children, are they asking for any type of assistance? Are they reaching out to families saying they need help? I think this is going to lead into a whole lot of other things, because issues that I may have with it is that child really their child. And one thing that I find is very different in the cultures is, and I'm not saying this as a fact, it's just my opinion from people that I've come across with, is some Jamaican women want their independence, they want their education, and they want to do better for themselves. However, when they get into a relationship with a man, they're pressured to have a child for him. And so they do so because your culture dictates that, oh, once we're together, we have to have a child. And so then she has the child for the man, her partner, versus having that child because it's something she wants. So then when the relationship goes bad, they say, listen, you wanted me to have this child, there you go, it's yours. I find that, I don't know, I would like some feedback on that. Is that something that is true in the culture, or is that just people that I've come across?
I want to say yes, it's true. And if you notice, I said earlier that in most cases, when you see the relationship split and the mother leave the child over to the father, in most cases, based on Jamaican culture and Jamaican mothers that I know, most of the time the mother love for that child isn't that strong, unless that mother is in a how should I put it? Let's say unless the mother is in a situation in which where she's living is not. I don't even want to say where they're living is not too convenient, because I think that the Jamaican females that I know, they will go all out. When I say all out, they will go all out to make their kids comfortable. Sure. But I've noticed it though that you don't really find mothers just walk away and say, well, you keep him like that. It's very rare you see mothers walk away and say, you keep him in a relationship, or when a relationship goes south here. When it do happen in most cases, though, I notice that if the man is the one that keep the kids, it's normally, I don't want to generalize everyone, but in the cases that I know personally, most time when the fathers are the one who keep the child 100%, the mothers really don't do much, as in really don't do much.
But when the mother keeps them, and I hate saying keeps them, but when the mother decides to raise that child, and again, I don't want to talk general either, because I don't want people to say I'm talking about them, but why is it that when that woman in Jamaica sometimes decides to raise that child, she's not the one raising the child, it's either her mother or someone else. And even when they decide to come to the US, they still leave that child behind for 10, 15, 20 years. And they even have other children in the United States with men here in the US, but then they substitute just financially sometimes to send back for that child, not understanding that there's no substitute for the mother themselves. The child is longing for that mother, not just for the financial and the materialistic things. Oh, I can send a barrel and I can do all of this stuff. What happened to being a mother? Is it because the father is not in the picture to take care of that child? And don't even get me started with women. This is something so new to me. Why? Please tell me, why do some Jamaican women have their children calling the new boyfriend their uncle or some other kind of stuff like that too, as a substitute for the father? What happened to the communication of saying, this is your father, his name is Jerry or whoever it may be. But guess what? This is the relationship I'm in with now. He's not your father, but he's a father figure and he's someone. I mean, where did that culture come from?
It comes from kids having kids, because in most cases what I've observed is normally when you see cases like that, it's just pure immaturity from start to finish, as in just pure immaturity. I know this for a fact that the two main ingredients you need in co-parenting is communication and respect. If you fall short on just one of those, there will be trouble. As long as there is communication and respect, co-parenting ain't that hard. And I've observed that in most cases, it's just pure immaturity. Like, if it's a case in which, let's say, for example, the child have a fun day coming up, and because both mother, let's say biological mother and stepmother, they have their differences, then biological mother might think that the stepmother should not be there, even though the stepmother might be the one taking care of that child 7 days a week. So for me, that's just pure immaturity, because at the end of the day, if you're not there, your child need a feminine love, just like how the child would need a masculine love, just the same. And you are not there physically by choice. In most cases, it's by choice. You're not there by choice, because we can take it away and say, listen, well, we're not living together. However, regardless of that, you're still able to spend as much time as possible with that child, as long as we don't have a court barrier to say that, okay, you're only allowed to get the child or spend this amount of time. As long as there's no court barrier, you have no excuse of spending quality time with your child. In regards to having kids and leaving them for grandparents, it's been a thing in Jamaican culture, like, from way back. For me, I would get rid of it now. I personally hate it, because one, I heard this term, I'm not sure where I heard it from, that if you grow your child right, you will be able to spoil your grandkids. But if you spoil your child, you will left raising your grandkids. And I literally observed that going on a lot. They didn't raise their child properly, and that left them being now a grandparent after raising a grandchild. I believe that every child should be able to have, once their biological parent is alive and physically, mentally able to take care of them, I think they should be in their life, because, come on, every child needs a home. However, I know at some point, I may not be able to speak from experience, but I know for a fact, at some point in that child's life, they're going to ask, what is it about them why they are without a mother while their mother is here, there, and everywhere? I know at some point that child will want to know, and most time it can play even on their emotion, in which they can start to feel worthless. It can mess with their self-esteem naturally. Well, that's just what I think. I'm no doctor here, of course, but I think
that's absolutely true. It's true. It does mess. It doesn't matter how strong that other parent in the household is. The child is always going to wonder why I don't have my parent there. Especially, I think that some of the schools here in the U.S. are not as sensitive as they should be. They might have a daddy dance. Well, what happens when that child doesn't have the daddy and they can bring their daddy to the daddy and me dance? And that child starts to feel something is wrong with them. And then you have some children who will then lash out at the parent who is there and in the household and doing the best that they can do, because they don't understand why the other parent is not there.
True. It's sad. It's really sad, because I've known quite a few cases in which Mother didn't raise by mother. Mother said mother come have a child and think it's okay not to raise said child because she or him of this saying that they were not raised by their biological parent and they didn't turn out too bad. They made it, so their child will make it just the same. I think it's one of the most selfish crap I have ever seen. You should know what it feels like not to have your biological parent around. But yet now you have the chance to make it right. And you're like, okay, well, I wasn't grown by my biological mother or father and I make it. So what's the big deal? What? I don't get it. I try to wrap my head around it quite some time, but it's just not working out for me. Peter Gay, how is it for you?
I think those persons are broken because I was raised without my dad because I was disowned at 6 to my face. So, I mean, at one point, I blamed myself. But then because of the type of mother that I have, she built me, she put confidence, she teach me how to be a better person. Knowing that I don't have a daddy. Yes, I have a stepfather and he did extremely well, but there was and there is still that missing gap. Because there's no closure as to what happened, what did I do. So those persons that keep on having children and don't want to raise them because they make it on their own, they're still broken and they need help.
Yeah, but if you're broken,
I love that. That is the best. Oh my goodness.
I would agree 100%. But what I'm saying is, if you're broken and you need help, like if it's a case in which you can't identify that you're actually broken, it's a different case. But I think that you should always try to.
Remember, in order for you to get help, you first have to accept and know that you need help.
I have a problem.
And because you're missing that tender care of a dad. Jason love me and Jason this and Jason that, but there's still always something I'm missing. So I'm going to move from Jason to Tom to Harry to whatever, trying to find that missing gap. Sometimes all you need is just somebody to empty your cup, just speak to, just talk about what you're feeling, what you're going through.
Yes, because you have gone through that yourself and you know what it feels like not to have that other parent in your life. Now, why would you want your children to go to it? Now, I will say, I don't believe that anybody, I don't know, things are changing today, so I can't say anybody, but I don't think most people go into relationships saying, just going to have a child by him and that's it, I'm going to call it a day. Right. We all go into relationships thinking that we are having children, many go into relationships thinking we're having children with someone who we love, we care about. This person is going to be a good father to my child. Now, we do have some women who say, oh, they've seen he has children with 2 and 3 other women and he's not a good father to those children, but he's going to be different with mine because he loves me so much.
She's going to change him. Yeah. She's going to change him. All right. I'm going to run through the comment section. I'm not sure if any of the comments here you might want to add to. Let me just go through it very quickly, of course. All right. So Cas1 JM, yes, moms are held to a lower standard. How welcoming are those moms to dads hanging around? Do the moms have new man? Are they salty and give off negative energy to the father whilst there many times? Yes. TVTV, for the most part, family isn't like it used to be. Therefore, if a man knows his family, he's not going to waste his energy and time. Families mostly pull together to plan funerals. So true. Vern Cross. Communication and respect is the key to parenting, to co-parenting, but respect has to come first, in my opinion. Yeah, definitely on that one. True. My son's mom, who only takes him or wants to when it's very convenient to her, contemplating court action for child support. Yeah, support 100%. Tough question. We have to ask for the missing fathers, what are the factors, hostile moms, paternity fraud, etc. Not all are simply worthless. All right. That's a definitely yes on that as well, Miss Vincent. Here in Jamaica, again, I've never left this lovely island, so I can't speak for anywhere else. But I know that in most cases, a lot of these relationship they can it could have been resolved through a simple conversation. Now when it reached a point where it couldn't resolve because of a conversation and there's a split, most times somebody gets salty. I know that a lot of females don't like to take accountability, but in most cases, the females are the first set to get salty. They are the first set to go to the family court. They are the first set to do all those things. I'm telling you, in Jamaica here, most cases, they are the first to get salty. They will know, as I mentioned earlier, they will know the situation. They will have all these understanding until there is a split. Until there is a split. Oh, I understand he doesn't earn a lot. I understand this is what you can offer. But as soon as you are no longer together, it's all about I don't care where you should get that money from. This is what I expect you to give on a week-to-week basis. Who would be the salty one in that case?
Jason, let me interrupt you for a quick second. There's two people that I know that are right now are watching. One is Vern Cross, and I'd like to say hello. Vern has been doing podcasts for some time and is very experienced, has some great and enlightening topics. So definitely want to hear from him. If you can share the WhatsApp number for them to call in, as well as I have an all about expert who is watching right now. Her name is Miss Trisha Pedro, and I would like for her to call in. Trisha is the mother of, I'm not even going to quote it, Trisha, 6 or 7 children, as well as the creator of a book called Farley that helps children go through a lot of different situations. And I would really love for either one of these people to call in to WhatsApp if they can get that number. I think it's 876-884-7518. I would really love to hear some of the feedback from some of the viewers that we have watching in the United States.
Yes, definitely. You guys watching, you can call in direct on WhatsApp. You can send a voice note as well to that number. Or you can just type in the chat. I think I see, yes, Mr. Vern Cross has made a comment here in the comment section. Yes, he was the one that said that communication and respect is the key to co-parenting. So yes, Mr. Cross is actually here with us tonight, definitely. Yes, you can always call in or send a voice note to the number that's currently on screen. Yes, preferably voice note. We are trying to adjust the call with the Zoom. It interferes when they call in, so we won't be able to hear Mrs. Vincent while a call is on the line. But whichever one is more convenient to you, we'll just try and work with it as best as possible.
Okay.
All right. You were saying something before, Mrs. Vincent?
No, I was agreeing with a lot of the stuff here. Even my own situation, you said it, it's maturity. It's a maturity level. I'm a different parent today than I was 20 years ago. My children, I have 31-year-old twin girls, and then I have a 21-year-old girl. And I'm going to tell you the way I parent those 31-year-old twins and the way that I parent the 21-year-old, very different. And we'd like to say, I was a teen mom, so we'd like to say that we have all of the answers when we're young, but we don't. We think we do. And there's such thing as generational curses. We teach our children things that we have learned, and if we don't know any better, then who's to say that we are going to seek out the knowledge that we need to be able to pass on? My daughters are 31 years old, and I will tell you, boy, I learned from them so much. This is when you have the child teaching the mother, because at the age of 17, 18, here I was having twins. I didn't know what I was doing. So now here I am with 31-year-old children who have been experienced and cultured and been in different environments, who every day will tell me, Mom, it's about communication. no, it's about this is what you need to do. They will even say to me, I'm not your friend. I deserve respect. And those are things that are hard for me to hear sometimes. Sometimes I feel like they're attacking me. And I say, you're attacking me. And they say, no, I'm not attacking you, but it has to stop somewhere. It has to change somewhere. And no matter how much I feel like I was the best parent, because I did the best that I can do. I remember my daughter saying to me, I'm going to do it totally different when I have my children. I thought, whoa, like, oh, like you killed me right there. Like, what's that? She said, I'm not going to make it about the things that I could give to them. I'm going to make it about, I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to make sure that education and that I can have that conversation with them and I can say, hey, I love you. It's not about this. It's not about that. It's not about your father. It's about us and what we're doing. And as a young mother, I remember just being bitter, being very upset, not upset. And I can, at this age now, I can admit to it, upset at the fact that he wasn't the person who I thought he should be. You know, let's get that right. He wasn't the person who I thought he should be. He wasn't a bad person. I would even say he wasn't the worst father. He just wasn't the person that I wanted him to be. I wanted him to fit in a box. I wanted him to fit what I wanted him to be. And he wasn't that person. So I was very bitter at that. And even to this day, I can actually admit my ex-husband said to me he didn't want to have any children. He did not want to have any children. But again, as a young mom and a young woman, you think, "Oh, he's just saying that he's going to change. He's gonna see me and he's going to love me so much and it's going to be so different for him." But at what point are we holding ourselves responsible for saying, he was upfront and he was honest with me and he said this is not something he wants at this point in time in his life? Well, guess what? It happened. Yes, the two of us take responsibility for that, but it wasn't fair to him or to my children that I was bitter and that I was angry and that I pushed him away because he did not do exactly what I wanted him to do. He didn't live where I wanted him to live, and he didn't come get them every single weekend so that I could go hang out. And I felt like Monday through Friday is a job for me. I have them Monday through Friday. You should have them every single weekend. And if he said no, well, then I would say, guess what? You don't need them on Monday or Tuesday either. Huh? You know, what about that? Is that fair to your child? No. So at some point in time, we all have to take responsibility, whether we are female or male, what part we play in the role of that child being in the home and how we treat that parent who is not inside the household so that our children don't experience that toxic type of environment and then continue to pass it on to their children.
What advice would you share or give to a 20-year-old you who is probably watching or maybe watch this video later on? What advice would you give to them in the sense of maybe they are currently in a relationship or at a split and just being a single mother at this time, not knowing how to deal with a situation like that?
You know what I would say, number one, if I could tell myself that is, accept people where they are. And when I say accept people where they are, take advantage of the positive attributes that they have. I will tell you right now, and I have a lot of people that I've grown up with watching right now. My ex-husband, my twin father, absolutely, now that I am out of the picture and he doesn't have to deal with me, and he is the best father. He is a good man. He is a good father and a good person to my children. I would never trade him any other kind of way because I am not in the picture. And I think that would be the advice. Step out of the way. If your child is not being hurt and harmed, you're going to always want your safety of your child, but if your child is not being hurt or harmed, let that parent be the parent that they want to be for their child. don't get in the way. Let them have their relationship to build it the way that works for them, and it doesn't have to fit your criteria. So, and be able to admit when you're wrong and communicate and say you're sorry and reach out and all those good things that we don't want to do. We don't want to say we're wrong and we don't want to say we're sorry. But if you don't do those things, then your children are the ones who suffer for it many, many years after the relationship has gone. And I can definitely testify about that, because my children and I, we learn from each other every day. I learn more from them. And, it's a tough situation, but also, not even being a joke, you need to do an application and think about the children, the people who you're having children with, because not only are we talking about genetics, we're talking about characteristics, we're talking about also, I don't think we even take into consideration, we are having, as women, I'm going to talk as a woman's point of view, we are having children by a man, but guess what? His family. Those family members play a large part in the upbringing of your children. So I'm going to tell you, if you are in a relationship with a man and you already see what type of family he's involved with, you better run. You better run, because your children will inherit a lot of those behaviors and be around a lot of that toxic behavior.
I'm gonna back you on that 100%, because I know this for a fact. So that's not a culture thing. I think that's a worldwide situation, because I know for a fact that even here, if a lot of us knew the family background of a lot of these people that we date, both male or female, they would not go more than the first date. Once they know the family, like what they're gonna really have to be dealing with. If the relationship doesn't work out and there's a child involved, I know that in most cases it's not nice. Ever call?
I mean, yeah, I got lucky. My daughter's family, amazing people. Even when the relationship wasn't there, always been very instrumental in my children's life. So I definitely want to give them a shout out.
All right, Miss Vincent, we're getting a call, so your line will be mute while the caller is here, but you should be able to hear the caller as well.
Okay.
All right. Pleasant evening. You're live on YS Convo. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Good night.
Good night. My name is Trisha Pedro.
Hello. Welcome to YS Convo.
Thank you. Anita said to call in. I don't know if you guys had a question, or should I just say what I think? I'm not really sure.
You could just share your views on tonight's topic, pretty much. We'll appreciate that.
Okay, so I'm a mom, recently a single mom of 8, and I definitely agree with a lot of the things that you guys were saying. It is about, Anita just talked about, you having the way that you want the father to be. And then something else you guys were talking about that I thought, like I'm gonna speak for myself. For me, it was like, why is it that I always have to have it and to figure it out, and the dads get to do it when they can? Because I know you guys were saying, like, the mom might want them to pay this certain amount, and if they can't pay that certain amount, then they're upset, or they feel salty or whatever. But what I have to say about that is, it's like, why is it that we have to figure it out, but then they could say, well, I could only give $100, and then we have to find the rest. You know what I mean? So that's my part on that.
All right.
And I was trying to, what else? While you guys were talking, I was listening.
Okay. All right. So in regards, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say, in regards to the part where or let's say, for example, you're with your child's father, right?
Right.
Normally both of you working, and he's giving you, let's say, average of $500 every 2 weeks towards the child. There's a break between you two. He moves on to another relationship. Let's say in a year from now, you have a newborn. I know that things do increase. Cost of living will go up a year from now, so I would expect that he would be knowledgeable of that just the same. So if he's knowledgeable and he's think to himself that, you know what, $500 is not good enough, I think I'm going to put it to 600, 650. But you on the other hand tell yourself that, hey, listen, if he was given 500 and now he's in another relationship, I know the least he can give over that relationship is 500. So you know what, I want 1,000. I don't care how he's going to do it. I need a minimum of $1,000. That's where I think that it's salty, and that is totally unfair. And I'm not sure if it has anything to do with culture, but I know that we see it a lot here in ours. So I'm not sure about you.
Right. Well, I'm originally from Trinidad, and I think it's probably this. I think bitter women are where I'm in America now, but my background is from Trinidad, and it's kind of the same thing there. And that I think what you're saying is true. That is kind of being bitter, being unreasonable. I would never ask somebody to give something, couldn't. So I guess it really depends on the person and what you feel in the in breakup or how it went. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, well, the thing that I don't really get is I know for sure that the person I am now, I wasn't always this person. I wasn't this person 15 years ago. But however, what I'm saying is, I wish that a lot of times parent, like when I say parent, it doesn't matter your age, but as parent, you could just take a step back at times and say, you know what? The reality of life is nothing is guaranteed, especially a relationship, as in nothing. I know for sure that most people, when they're, whether it's a male or a female, once they're losing their virginity or the person they're giving up their virginity to, most time in their head, this is who I will be with for the rest of eternity, in most cases. Now,
Right.
sometime within a month or two, you realize, reality check, this is not it, right? You move on. Maybe you have a 2 or 3 relationship before a child might come into picture. I am saying, if you are changing partners, let's say you change 1, 2, 3 partners, now you reach the part where you're now a parent. At some point, you must be able to take a level of accountability and look into yourself and say, you know what? The fact that I was thinking this way, then that the first person will be the only person. And see here, I'm now in my 3rd relationship. Let me just try and make sure that, you know what, whatever decision I make, it's in the best interest of my child. It's not about me anymore. My mother taught me something, and I will forever keep it inside. She told me that once you have a child, life is not about you anymore. As in, it's just not about you anymore. It's about your kids. And it doesn't matter how old you get, you will not always be a child, but you will always be your mother or your father child. And because if you have that understanding, you will realize that, and if you notice, you will see a lot of these parents, whether mother or father, you will notice that a lot of time they make decision based on egos, and they don't think about how this can actually affect the child negatively in the future. It's all about them. It's all about now, how they feel now, and then later down the line they're trying to do damage control, and in most times it's like way too late. The child is already damaged pretty much, and it's like there's no coming back. Then you have to be trying to figure out how can you fix this situation. Okay, we have seen it happen so often, and it doesn't necessarily have to happen to you for you to start, shaping yourself, just in case it come knocking on your door. That's how I see it.
Right. Yeah, like for me, you said you talked about you think you're supposed to be with this person forever, and like my relationship for 20 years with 8 kids for the same person. So it's like, yeah, you think it's supposed to last, but then even if it doesn't last, you still have accountability for the children, and you still have to do either what you were doing or better now that you're not there. Because my kid's dad was a home dad as well. He spent most of the time at home, but he also did odds and end things as well. So my kids never had to go to daycare. However, now that he's not there, I feel like it's even more of an effort you have to put, because they're used to seeing you in the house all the time, and now you're not. So not only financially, you have to spend more time with them, you have to be like if you're still there in a sense, so the kids don't really miss out. So I guess my perspective is a little different, but still the same of not having
Not
in the household anymore,
not
you know?
really, not really. I understand it 100%. Peter Gay said something earlier in which, to be honest, I've never really looked into it before she actually said it. That when a man is in a household together with and there's a child involved, if there's a split, not only with that child, the man might say, well, I normally spend 500, so 500 is all you need, without looking at more things that, for example, you will know as a single mother maybe have to spend additional funds to maybe get the child from point A to point B, wherein while the father was there, he would normally take care of those things. So that by itself will incur additional funds. So a lot of time, to be honest, we don't really look into even those small things that will add up, because we just tell ourselves that, hey, listen, 500 is what I used to pay, 500 is what I will continue to give. But I think there is a wider spectrum of taking care of a child other than just money, because
right.
I know a lot of cases where money was never the problem, but because there was lack of respect, there was lack of communication, everything crumbled, and only the child always get the bitter end of the stick. Yeah, definitely. But thank you so much, of course, for taking the time out to join with us tonight. Remind me of your name.
Trisha Pedro.
All right, Trisha. Thank you so much for taking time out to be a part of the YS Convo tonight. Hope you continue tuning into the show, and remember to like, share, and subscribe as well. All right.
All right, thank you.
You're so welcome. Enjoy your Safi evening.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Yes.
Yay. Thank you, Trisha. Trisha truly is a phenomenal mother. I don't know how she does it. 8 kids, and I will tell you, I spent the day with them, and nope, her patience, they were all over the place. And all she says is say, get down. Is that nice? And I'm like, get your butt down. So, and definitely has taken her children and even not as a therapist, but has taken a creation of a character called Farley that talks about the communication between the children and the father and the struggles in school, and uses that now to go around throughout the community and help other children. So hats go off to her and what she's doing. So 8 children, and yeah, that's she works and owns a business. So
that's a lot of work right there. So I have to applaud her as well. That's a lot of
yes,
work.
definitely. Do we have another topic today? A fun topic that we're talking about?
Well, we're gonna go straight over to the second topic, of course.
Jason will take the lead on that one.
Peter Gay would like to.
Let her take the lead on that one. We need a woman to bring it in.
Yeah, Peter Gay will be bringing in that one. Go ahead, Peter.
Bring it in. It's not, you're laughing, so
What's the
it
topic
means
again?
good stuff to share. Tell us all about
What's
it. We
the
want to hear.
ultimate sin?
In a relationship that you can actually commit, and if you do commit that sin, do you expect or would you like to be forgive?
I think the ultimate sin as a female is getting pregnant by somebody else. And if I fall in that case, I wouldn't expect you to forgive me, because if the flip switch, I can't. And that's just my honest truth.
Mrs. Vincent, you'd like to add?
Ooh, I'm tough, so there's so many things that are the ultimate sin to me. If I cook and you don't eat my food, then I got that. But
No.
My husband is on here right now. When he gets mad at me, that is what he does. He won't eat my food because that's his way of trying to pay me back. So if you hear me, you will not be getting no food again. Next. So really, I really think it's cheating. But again, like she said, if I cheat, I'm gonna tell you, and I know if I were to cheat, I think I should be forgiven. And the reason why is because most women cheat for a reason. That means the man is lacking somewhere. Communication, attention, sex, something he's lacking. So guess what? If I do it, you need to forgive me because it is your fault. That's number one. I'm serious.
I like you.
I would so not agree with that one though.
Right? No, if I cheat you, I will tell you you will know before I cheat that I'm going to cheat, because I'm going to be like, listen, I'm feeling a certain kind of way. I'm not sure if this is really working out. I'm lonely, I'm tired, I need this, I need that. If you're not listening to that, where you lack, another man is going to be right there waiting. So if it happens, he's over here now. He done got here already from work. If it happens, it's his fault. Plain and simple.
Oh,
so not only do you need to forgive me, but you need to apologize.
What you not saying? What you not saying?
I like you.
What you not saying?
I'm not joking.
Girl
You
power.
need to
Nice.
apologize.
Girl power.
So, let me get this straight.
Yes.
You cheat because he was lacking something. And after you cheat, he should not only he should not even get upset, but instead, you should therefore apologize.
Yes, because he made me give up the cookies to somebody else, which is not in my character to do so, but he made me do it. So therefore, he needs to apologize. Anita, I am so sorry that you had to do that.
What?
I am you went down the show, so don't be up in here talking. You are not on the show. You're not on the show, so don't be up in here talking. Next, now, if I got pregnant, then that's an issue. No, because that means you had unprotected sex. Now you're putting diseases in play and a possibility of a child in play. But the cheating part, I'm gonna stand by that 100%.
All right, so I'm gonna add something to that. I want you to make this make sense, right?
I see you're having some trouble with this one.
Yeah, I can tell you.
I don't have any issue. I'm just gonna put it out there still. All right. So my disclaimer is this happened way back ago.
Shut.
All right. So no, that has been out of the way. No, I was intimate with someone who was in a relationship, and of course, she told me that this dude does everything for her. He is like every department, he covers every department, but yet she was still there cheating. I actually took the time out to ask the question, so why exactly are you cheating? I don't know, I just feel like it. Then in a case like that, you're saying that he should apologize to her for cheating because
it is his fault again. He knew you don't go to the grocery store and pick up ketchup
if you
and
have
think
ketchup,
you're going to get home and have mustard. He knew what he was buying when he bought that. He knew what he was buying. So therefore, it is his fault. He should have went to the store and bought something different. I see Vern jumped on. He jumped on during a time of hot topic because he wanted to try to back up the men in this conversation, but no.
Mr. Cross will be. I think Mr. Cross will jump back in shortly, but I will be able to defend the men, of course, because I'm really good in that area. No, Anita, let's be clear here. Like, let's be real clear.
You couldn't wait for
You
talking.
think I'm joking? I'm not joking.
No, I am dead serious. No, I am saying this to you now, right? Something is lacking in your relationship. Now, we're going to go back to communication as well. Something is lacking here in the relationship, right? And you tell yourself that, hey, you're not happy, you name out quite a few things. And I was listening very carefully. Most of the things that you actually listed out are things that you actually have control of. Because really and truly, a man doesn't have control of you being happy, yes or no, because he can do everything. Yeah, let me finish. A man can do everything that he knows are in his power to try and make you happy, but at the end of the day, he might not reach the expectation of happiness that you want. Therefore, you will never be happy. Now, you're saying that if he doesn't fit that criteria to make you happy, you will be going out, you will be cheating, and he should come back and apologize to you because it was his fault why you had to cheat.
If he is that damn dumb that he don't know how to make me happy, then he deserves to be cheated on. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yes.
That's what she said.
Yes.
You know,
I've never seen Jason lock words. Anita, I like you.
It's a lot of reasons why I'm lost for word now. Mr. Cross, can you hear us, sir? No, I'm not hearing you. I'm not sure. Check if you're on mute. I can see that you're saying something, but not hearing you. I think you're having an audio issue for Mr. Cross. Check if you're still muted, Mr. Cross. Yeah, we're hearing you, but really low.
Can you hear me?
Much better now. Much better, sir. I can see that you're very eager to take on this topic right here with Mrs. Vincent. You mind sharing your views right away?
Absolutely. First and foremost, I want to say, Anita, my homegirl, and I say that, and I mean it. I have so much respect for you. And the conversations that I've been listening to have been great. But Anita, you crossed the line so many times with everything that you said. And I think that you are doing the one thing that women don't like being done. Is called double standards. There's no way that a man could be the cause of you cheating and you can't be the reason a man cheats. It has to be a fair playing field. You know, you bought the same.
I didn't say that part. I agree. It is if a man cheats. Yes, I do agree.
But
yes, go on. I'm sorry.
No, I just want to know, where do the adult part come and just say it? Why are we cheating? Why don't we just separate? You literally said that you would cheat and it would be his fault. And not only would you cheat, you want him to apologize to you for you cheating.
Exactly.
Yes.
Why? The cheating was by choice.
Like I said, plain and simple. If it gets to that point, it is not a surprise. It's not a surprise.
Absolutely,
I'm telling you, my
is.
husband is sitting right here. He's sitting right here. And I will tell you, I'm going to come to you and I'm going to explain to you, like, if I'm not happy, this is the reason why I'm not happy. These are the things that I need in my life. This is what I need. Mm-hmm. I had a friend, a male friend, and I wish he was online right now. I had a male friend who got into a relationship with we got into a relationship with a woman. He likes heavy women. He loves heavy women. We can't change who we love. That's what he loved. Well, guess what? She decided at that period of time that she wanted to get healthier. She lost weight. He was no longer attracted to her anymore. He went out and he cheated.
He's a bad guy.
Who's wrong in this situation when he told her specifically what it is, what type of person he wants in his relationship? It's the same way if a man is attracted to a thin woman and she go gain 50, 60 pounds, how can you tell me now I have to be attracted to you when I met you a different type of way?
Here's the
or
thing that
if you meet somebody who enjoys sex a lot, and then all of a sudden that person don't want to have sex, are you going to tell that man, oh, guess what? I know I've been giving it to you every night for how long, but guess what? I changed my mind now, so we getting ready to do once every 3 months. Is it wrong now he goes and cheats? Where does the responsibility lie?
So I think that the two topics that you guys had, they connect, and this is why. The respect level, because the respect level isn't there. Listen, when you're in a relationship with someone, things could go bad. People could gain weight because they're depressed. People could gain weight because they're going through mental things. You can just not bail just because. But if you're going to do it, at least be a man or a woman about it. Don't make me have to see signs. come to me and say, listen, this is not working. Let's split. Whenever you decide to cheat, you are no better than anybody else. And it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman.
I agree with that as well. That's why I said if I got to that point, and also again, if I got to that point, more than likely, I'm gonna say 99.9% of the time, it's bam, I'm out of here. Now, if he want to try to fight and get me back, I can control what he does.
But why would he want to?
Why would he want to? A question for him. That's not a question for me.
All I want to know, Anita, can you, like they say, can you dish out? Can you take what you dish out?
I can because, and the reason why I say this, and I would say many people on here know me, know that I talk too much. I communicate. You hear my husband laughing. I talk too much. I want to know. And I'm telling you, I will say, and Jason will tell you, I have conversations with people about anything. If it's not working out right, if sexually, let me know what you want. Tell me how you want it to be better. Hey, what about this? I do not agree with no 50-50 in a relationship either.
No,
I'm supporting you. I'm supporting you. I'm holding you down no matter what it is. So I'm going all in every single relationship and every single thing that I do. And I expect my partner to do the exact same thing. So if you're not willing to do that, then we need to call it quits. Sure. I'm telling you, I wish I had somebody like ex-boo who would say, I've been like this from the very beginning. I am going to tell you what I need and what I want. It's not a guessing game. And if I'm fault and I got some of my own stuff going on, call me on it. Let's talk about it. But if you don't want to talk about it, you don't want to fix it, you don't want to address it, then guess what? That person who is not willing to communicate and that person who is not willing to go that extra mile, that person is at fault for that. Absolutely because that not. Is what a relationship is about.
Absolutely not, Anita. And you know how much love I have for you. But I'm going to tell you why. This is why everybody's not you. Everybody's not able to communicate their feelings. Everybody,
especially men,
how they feel. So you can't have it your way. I think, and I was listening earlier, and one of the things that you said was you said that in the beginning you wanted your ex-husband to meet you where you wanted to be at.
As a parent.
As a parent, but that's what you're doing in a relationship. A relationship is two people coming together and finding a meaning. Everybody doesn't have a way of expressing their feelings. Some people might just keep it to themselves, so they don't know how to do that. And I understand that might not be for you, but at the same time, instead of being someone that says you have to read signs, and I'm going to ask the gentleman.
No, I didn't say read signs. I said you have to be able to communicate. I've been married 17 years now, 17 years, and I will tell you. My husband, there's a Jamaican term, and Jason always tries to get me to talk patois, but I don't do things like that. But his famous thing is, what is it, Jason? What does he tell me? I chat too much, right? I'm so offended by that. That means you talk too much. It's not that I talk too much. I want to say, wait a second. What's going on with this? How about this? How about that? I want to be able to communicate because I don't want it to get to a point where we are not talking about something so that we don't have those problems.
But Anita, all right, this is the situation. This is how I see it now, right? That's you. That's how you communicate. I personally know that's how you communicate. What about how he communicate? Does that matter to you how he communicates? Because if he doesn't communicate the way how you expect him to, you're basically saying that, listen, I showed you signs. I tried to reach out to you, but you're not receiving my communication. So this is what I am going to do next. What if his form of communication is not your form of communication? How do you guys work and fix things like that? Instead of you reaching to the point, well, you know what? I tried, you didn't receive my communication. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and cheat, and you should have seen you're dumb if you didn't see all these signs. Like, he's not expecting those things from you. He's holding you to high standard that, listen, if it's a case in which it's not working out, it's best for us to go our separate ways instead of you going out and cheat and say it's your fault and you should apologize.
So you guys are getting it all wrong. That's what I said. Okay, let me clarify it for you guys again.
All right, go again.
Okay, one more time. Wait. Let's start over. Okay, because you said sign. And that's the thing about women. The women always, when they find themselves mishap, they blame it on the guys. We both heard the same thing.
No.
You said signs.
100%.
You said signs.
Listen, so I don't expect him to read signs. That's number one. I expect him as an adult to listen.
Wait. See what you're doing right there? That's not fair. Why are you questioning another
No, we're adults. We're not young people.
That's not fair, Anita.
As a teenager, you don't have the communication skills. As a teenager, most teenagers or young adults, some don't have the communication skills in a relationship. I'm saying as an adult, and you've made the commitment, to be in a relationship with somebody, you need to, number one, listen. Number two, talk. Listen and talk. Neither one of us are mind readers. We are not. I, again, been married 17 years now. I have not cheated. And again, if that point came to that point, I will say to my husband, I think that we need to call it quits. I am not getting A, B, C, or D. What can we do to fix this? How can we fix this? What can I do? Is it me? Is it you? What can we do? If he still doesn't want to communicate, discuss that, talk about that, or address it, again, it is a problem. I'm not going to say, okay, then bam, I'm going to go cheat again now. I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to bring it up. If I get to the point where I am sacrificing who I am as a person and as a woman, and I am not happy, I am going to go on about my business.
And I approve
And if
that.
I mess around with somebody else and he says, oh, you were with Tom. Oh my goodness. Well, guess what? Boo? I told you this. Did you not think that I was telling you, I need attention. You're lacking this. I want this. What can I do to make it better? Did you think that was a joke? That was not a joke. I am not going to sacrifice who I am. I'm sorry, I am taking full control over my happiness. But as my partner,
So can I ask you a
am
question?
responsible for making you happy, and you are responsible for reciprocating that back to me.
So can I ask you this
And
question?
if you can't do it, there's a problem.
So can I ask you this question? And I want to be 100% honest. Do you
Yes.
expect your man, your husband, to sacrifice who he is to make you happy? Because
Absolutely not.
Somebody has to sacrifice.
Absolutely not.
Well,
No one has to sacrifice. You have to, like I said to Jason earlier, you have to be able to meet people where they are. My husband is not, okay, I'm a rah-rah. I'm like, whoa, I'm out there. I will talk to the person in the grocery store, whatever it might be. That is not my husband. He is a very quiet person to most people that he does not know. Like right now, I told him, sit by my side, be in this show. No, he's not going to talk. He's in the back listening and interjecting. That is how he does things.
He wants to talk.
I'm not. No, he doesn't.
He would like to talk. I heard him say something.
He does
is
not want to
sacrificing
talk
right
to
now for your
strangers.
happiness.
He's not going to. No.
He's sacrificing.
He
Ask
is
him, do you
not
want
the
to talk?
type of person.
Ask him,
I would love for him to talk.
Ask him.
Jason can tell you. Jason is his cousin. He is
Jason.
not going to come
He
on
wants to
a
talk.
show and talk.
He wants to.
All right.
not going
All
to
right.
do
Hold on. I need a question. Based on the question that Verna's asked just now in regards to does he sacrifice being himself to make you happy? And you say
Jason,
no.
you know him. Answer
No,
that
hold on,
question.
hold
Does
on,
he?
hold on. The reason why I want to ask the question is in the event, right, that your communication is totally different from his. But if you're not reciprocating what is trying to communicate vice versa. You're saying that you will show action and your action might be cheating. What I'm saying is if his form of communication, right, is not willing to change that form of communication because that's just how he is that should that be a case wherein he can use that as an excuse to say, you know what, I tried to communicate, but she just doesn't understand that my form of communication most time is no communication whatsoever. I'm going to cheat, and when I cheat, it's your fault. You should take responsibility for that because you didn't understand that I don't like to talk.
He can say that if it's true. He can't say that if in fact he came. He can say it if it's true, but he can't say it if he came to me and if he came to me and I shut him down and I didn't listen to him, then yes, he can say that. If he come to me and I say, okay, what can I do? How can I make it work? What do you need? Then no, that's different. And then, like I would say, and he's sitting right here. If my husband came to me and said blah 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 blah, and I say like, yo, okay, this is how you feel. What can I do? What can I do differently? He can't communicate what he needs. He can't communicate what he wants. Blah blah blah. The issues continue and continue and continue. I am going to say, yo, it's not working for me. I feel like we need to call it quits because I am sacrificing my happiness and I don't know what to do to fix it. And I will tell you in full transparency, my husband and I were separated for a year just because of communication. We were separated. He is my best friend and the love of my life. But I will tell you in a minute, because of communication, because he could not communicate with me and I could not understand I'm not a mind reader. I don't know what he wants. And then now we get to a point where, my husband will be upset about something, okay? He's not going to let me know he's upset about it. He wouldn't say anything about it. But 2 years from now, he will say, oh, remember so-and-so? And I'll be like, no, I don't remember that. What are you talking about? Oh, you said such and such. And I'll be like, that's not what I meant. And he'll say, oh, I didn't know that's what you... So why didn't you ask me at that point in time? I can't read your mind. Number one, I am American. My culture is different. He is Jamaican. His culture is going to be different. So there are certain things that he feels like as a woman, you should not say. I'm saying everything because I want to communicate. I want to talk. Me and my husband, like I said, he's sitting right here. We can walk down the street and I can be like, babe, look at her booty. And he'd be like, where? I'd be like, if you ain't see it, something is wrong. Look at her booty. And he's like, where? What? I'm like, I want my booty like that. You think she's cute? And he'd be like, I'll say, what you rate her? 10, 9, 8, whatever. And we can laugh and say, oh, you got different tastes or whatever it may be or whatever. We do have that type of relationship. But when it comes to having those serious conversations where it's, where are we getting ready to live at next year? He's more like, I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, I really don't want to be in Texas anymore. I want to do this. Yeah, I don't know. And it's like, I really need you to be able to make a decision on this. We need to talk about this. He'll say, how many times are we going to talk about it? Well, we talked about it, but we didn't make any type of conclusion on it. It's going to be the same way when you're in a relationship. You have to be able to communicate and you have to be able to say enough is enough and be able to walk away from it. I don't care. They always say a man can do 100 things right, but 101 thing, that one thing may be that breaking point for you. And you have to be able to say, that's good enough a reason for me to walk away, or can I fix it? And if you have to walk away, you walk away. If he wants to come back or wants you back, that's on him.
All right. So what I'll approve on that, Anita, is if you have made like you've tried everything to make it work, where you try communicating with him, you have the discussion, how can we fix this? Not how can you or how can he, but how can we fix this as a couple? If you have thrown like everything out there and you don't see where he's showing any form of interest, and you said to yourself that, you know what, you are really responsible for your own happiness at the end of the day. So you're gonna leave, then I could understand and would approve that for anyone, because of course it's like if you're in a relationship and you're not happy, then it's almost impossible for you to keep the next person happy. So for it to make real sense is if it's just not working out and you really tried everything, then I understand, but not the part where you cheat and blame the next person and say, well, I will never ever agree. And I know that if you line up 1,000 men right now, I'm sure that you will get at least 99.999999% to tell you that there's no way you can cheat on a man and tell him that it's his fault and he should apologize to you because you have been showing him the signs and trying to communicate to him, but he's not receiving it.
Jason,
And
you
Vern, I
can't
agree
line
with
up.
what you said,
Jason,
Vern.
Yes.
I just want to say, Jason, you can't line up a whole bunch of women and reverse it and say that
it's a waste of time trying that.
You can't do that.
I would never even try. They don't take accountability. So I would never even try.
Let me tell you, no.
That's a lie.
Okay. But you see, Vern, let me tell you something. A lot of women, and I'm not gonna pat myself on the back or anything, I'm just telling it like it is. A lot of women stay in relationships because they need something from that man. May it be money, a house, a car, taking care of their children. I don't need that. I have it because my husband raised 3 children that were not his and helped me. And I'm here where I am today because of him. But if you stay in a relationship because you are unhappy and your needs are not being met, there is a problem. And a lot of women do it and a lot of men do it as well. But if you will see the whole movement of independent women going on, that's a whole nother show right there. A lot of women will be upset with me.
What about independent men?
No, of course there are, of course. But when it comes down to it, a lot of people will get upset with me because Jason, I will tell you in a minute. Number one, I feel like I hold my own financially, educational, all those other things. Mm-hmm. But my husband still wants me to come home and cook and clean and do laundry and do all those things. That is the part I feel as his wife that, yes, all right, I need to do those things because that's what he needs me to do. So those traditional roles that the woman needs to be able to play in that relationship, I do agree with those things as well. But I also believe that the man needs to be able to take back and be the king of his castle. And that is communication. It's communication. It's leading. It's leading. And a lot of men today do not lead. And this is the reason why we have boss women, independent women. That's not what independent means. Absolutely. That's not what it means. That's not what it means. I rely on my husband. I rely on him, not to provide me with financial things or materialistic things, but because we are in a partnership. And sometimes I give 70, he gives 30. Sometimes he gives 70. It's vice versa. There's no 50-50. We do what we have to do to make it work. But a lot of people will sacrifice. I'm not sacrificing.
I understand, and I respect you for being a strong Black woman, but this kind of trickles back to the conversation that you had earlier. A lot of men were raised by single women. Those women were leaders. That's why these women are doing what they're doing. Like men, and we've always had, Black men especially, always had the respect for the Black woman. But the thing about it is, it's about no gender roles. There's things that I do at my house for my wife that I normally wouldn't have done. Like when I get out and I gotta wash dishes or put dishes in the dishwasher or do clothes, I do all those things to make it easy on her. I will sacrifice some of my things so that it's easy on her, because when it's easier on her, it's easier on us. That's communication. There's no, I'm the boss, you're the leader, I'm the leader. No, we work together. And and sometimes that works for other people. Somebody could be the boss. Now, I do have certain things that I only do. No one touches the garbage. I take out the garbage. That's just something that I grew up doing. But for the most part, there's no gender roles. If I got to pick up the kids from soccer, I'm picking up the kids from soccer. It doesn't matter if I make more money or she makes more money. We are a unit. And I think that's the difference. Because when you get to that point, you can communicate. And maybe when I have a conversation with my wife, I'm a talker. I can talk about it, but she won't talk. She likes to write about it. So do I get upset with her because she wants to write and won't talk? No, I sacrifice that and say, okay, I'm going to meet you on your level. But that's what you're saying, or what I'm perceiving you as saying, is like it's my way, or I'm gonna.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's communication. If her way of communicating is writing it down on the paper, you two have come up with a system that works for the two of you. I'm saying there still has to be effort into it. A person cannot completely shut down and say, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to do it. There ain't nothing that's gonna make you happy. Okay, whatever. They can't do that. So Vern, let me ask you a question, and maybe somebody else on there too. I would like to ask a man this question. Mm-hmm. If you're with a woman and there's no medical reason. Let's just put it out there like that. You have a healthy sexual relationship, okay? And mm-hmm. that is what you expect. But just deciding she does not want that anymore. Now you're having sex maybe every 3-4 months. Mm-hmm. You try to talk to her about it. She does not give you any reason as to why this is happening. What's your next step?
My next step is going to be more communication. I'm not going to, it depends. Like if I'm in a relationship that I'm in right now, it's just too much investment to throw it away over sex. And there's a reason. No. Maybe I did something. So no, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to try to figure it out. If we can't figure it out, then we will sit down and say, this isn't working for us, and you're going to go your way and I'll go my way. But it won't be a sign. You won't have to hear it from somebody else that I was doing this.
Right.
All right.
That's the point that I'm trying to make.
All
exactly. She won't hear it from somebody else. It's between the two of you, and you sat down and you tried to have these communication, and you've attempted to do it. But again, what I would like to say is, no matter how much you have tried to have that communication, it doesn't work. So you decide to go your separate ways. Now you go out there and y'all broke up on Tuesday, Wednesday, just as an example, you had sex with Felicia. And then Thursday she says, you know what? I've really been thinking, I want us to work it out. But she can't get over the fact that you went out there and was with Felicia. How does that work out?
Well, I mean, if I'm sorry, Jason, not input me, but if you truly in love, you're not having sex with Felicia a day later.
So you mean to tell me you're gonna go a whole year without having sex, and then finally you broke up, and Felicia's saying like, "Yo, what's up?" You're gonna still say, "No, I'm waiting for maybe things are gonna work out again."
A whole year, Jason. This on you, Jason. Not a whole year.
No. Well, that's no.
Jason, what's your opinion?
All right, my opinion basically is an entire year would be a no. Definitely, I can guarantee you that I'll be moving on way before a year, and I'm just being frank. No, I'm. It's no joke. There's no way I'm gonna stick around for a year. In regards to the question that you have thrown out in regards to no medical reason, nothing at all, but for some strange reason, she only want to have sex with me maybe once a month and so forth. I'm going to try to have the conversation, as Vern said. If that doesn't work, I'm going to try again to have the conversation. Then at some point, there will be a line in which it's either I'm going to know what the situation is or I'm just going to have to go. Because one, I'm going to start get the feeling, of course, that you're no longer attracted to me. That's factual. And once that's in the back of my head that you're no longer attracted to me, regardless of the investment, I am a kind of person I will tell myself that, you know what, I can move on and I can do this again. So I will, of course, we're not talking about a 6-month relationship. My relationship is pretty much in the verge of 8 years now. Not as long as Anita, of course, she like to brag about it. But yeah, but 8 years to me is a lot because it is my longest relationship. So I wouldn't just throw it out just like that, but I would want to know what the situation is. If it's something that I can work on, if it's something that we can work on, then by all means, I'm on board for it. But if it's a case in which she don't want to communicate with me what the situation is, I'm going to start feel like you're just not attracted to me anymore. And if I'm feeling that way, then I would feel like I'm now starting to force myself onto you. What I can't see myself going a month without having sex with the person I'm actually living with. That's just weird. Like literally, that's just weird. And I know for a fact that that just wouldn't work for me. But I think that having a discussion is always good, not just a one discussion. But sometimes you don't know what's going on in people's mind. You can't read their mind. But if they're not willing to let you know, then what really can you do? If you try to reach out to someone and they're not letting you in, they keep on shutting you out for whatever personal reason they have, what can we really do at the end of the day? Nothing. So communication is key, as I mentioned. I think we had someone that wanted to share a voice note with us. We had one of our viewers that wants to share a voice note. Let me see if
Hope
producer
it's not a
can.
man. I hope it's not a man.
All right, Mr. Producer, go right ahead.
I think what Anita is trying to say is that a woman already mentally, first, she mentally detaches from a man. So if she happens to cheat, it's because mentally she has already detached herself. So, which happens to be his fault because he's not watering her the way that she needs, which it is her choice and it is something she can control because she can leave. However, if you're with somebody, you're with them, and if they're not giving you what you need, then yes, you might cheat, and it would be their fault because they're not giving you what you need. You're not in a relationship by yourself. So I think that's her point. She's trying to say that, mentally you're already detached. So if it gets to that point and you cheat, it's because you have already broke up with that person in your mind already.
All right, I will jump straight into that, Vern. You don't even have to touch that one. There's no way you can blame someone for you cheating because cheating is a choice. You have to take that level of accountability and responsibility for cheating, whether you're a man or you're a woman. It's a choice. There's no excuse for that. It's a choice. If it was a bad choice, it's still a choice. If there was a willful choice, it is a choice. Whichever way you want to look at it, it's still a choice. Sometimes it's not a choice that you are proud of, but at the end of the day, it's still a choice. So you cannot make a choice and say, you know what, it's your fault why I made that choice. It's called choice for a reason. So no, caller, I'm not gonna agree with you.
They send you and your choice. You always talk about this choice. You always talk about this choice.
But it's factual. I understand that she wants to, have your back as Peter Gay wants to, but no. It's a choice, and once you make that choice, you blame no one but yourself. If it's a case in which you made a choice and it costs your relationship, you just take it and know that, you know what, it is what it is. I tried to work things out. I tried to communicate. It didn't work out. Then that's it. But don't make a decision like that. And then when thing doesn't go, you just come back and say, well, you know what? I tried to communicate with you, but you didn't listen. So I went ahead and do that. Then if you think that I'm not listening and you think that's the way out, I always say, well, if you think that
right. And so I guess what I'm asking then is, if that's the case, if the woman say she's trying to leave, she want to leave, she leave, whatever, and she go out there and be with somebody else, what about these people who say they forgive, say they want to fix it, even after they know that somebody has went out there and done something, maybe have a child with somebody else, have sex with somebody else, but then they cannot move on because they are still with the same exact behavior that contributed to the nonsense in the first place?
That's a tough one. That's really a tough one. And the reason why I would say that's a tough one is I know for a fact that if it's a case in which you tell yourself that you're going to forgive that person, forgive doesn't mean forget. So, of course, you will still be looking and observing if the behavior will come back nowhere close to what it was prior to you, the person actually cheating. So, if that person is serious about coming back and redeeming their self, then of course whether he or she should know that, you know what, if you're given a clean slate, it's only fair enough for you to make things right in every aspect. So if it's a case in which you know for a fact that, this is just not what you want to be out there, then you just go out there and you stay out there. That's simple.
And let us men define for me what cheating is. Please tell me what cheating is. I would like to know, because I think that there's so many things that are cheating,
Yeah,
but it is unrelated to sex. So let's talk about that.
that's very,
Sex.
that's huge right there. I guess it would be in a relationship, depending on how deep you are, but entertaining someone else for other reasons than platonic, or like work, like a coworker or something like that. But the entertainment, emotional cheating is probably worse than physical. I mean, if you think about it, especially when you come in on the other side. But I think one of the things that we have to grasp, and I'm not 100% sure about Jamaican culture, but in US, there's a lot of broken women. They've been in bad relationships, and they carry that baggage with them to the next relationship. Men do it too, but not as much because, as Anita would say, men don't communicate, so you don't know I'm hurt because I didn't tell you. But women do. They bring that. So a lot of times there's guys that are dealing with problems that the other guy did. Like the other guy did this. So women think that for some reason, and I don't want to be, I don't want to group, but women think that most men are alike. Like, so basically, Jason, if your wife is on the phone with my wife and I stayed out till 4 o'clock in the morning, and when I did, I was at the strip club, your wife is going to think, well, Jason stays out till 4 in the morning, he must be at the strip club. And you could really be doing something good, but a lot of times women have that group thing. So cheating for me is entertaining outside of a relationship or doing anything that you would not be okay with me doing that breaks that line of respectful and the next level. So it could be flirting, continuous flirting, not just like seeing somebody and throwing your hair back, but I mean like what do they call it, a work husband, that kind of stuff. It could be.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I agree.
These like little, like texting someone good morning every morning. No, you're not doing that. It's me and you. So,
listen, most men don't say that. I'm so glad to hear you say that. Most men, they want to bring it down to something physical. I touched the person. I had sex with the person. No, cheating, there's so many different things. If you know good and well that even if you yourself know that you are not going to have sex with this female, if she is texting you nonstop or sending you pictures or doing something else and you are entertaining it, you are a cheater.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
but I had to learn that. I didn't know that 10 years ago. I had to learn.
Well, I can give you in a very simpler term, of course. Just put it this way. Anything that you know that you would actually have a problem with the other person doing, it's pretty much cheating, as in anything at all, because you know what would make you feel a certain kind of way. So if you know that much, then pretty much if you do that to the other person, then it's pretty much the same. Because I think that emotional cheating is one of the cruelest one, because what that does is, while you might not be making any form of physical contact with the person you're flirting with or whatsoever, the fact that that person's on your mind when you go home to your spouse.
Yes.
Yeah, right there, right then. That's trouble. That's literal trouble, even though there hasn't been any kissing, any touching, anything yet. But the fact that
that's how it starts out.
Yeah.
That's how it starts out. There are different levels. There are different levels. Some men will never cross that line. But my whole thing is, if in fact you know, number one, if the person tells you that it's a problem, it's a problem. You shouldn't do it. You should not do it. If you continue to, my nephew, I'm going to digress for a minute. One thing my nephew said to me once, I won't say which nephew, but my nephew came to my house one time and, oh my goodness, he had a girlfriend that we all loved her so much. She was beautiful, smart, committed in a relationship, every single thing. And he will tell you to this day that she was that type of person. So when he finally came to my house, I said, hey, whatever happened to you and Tessa? And he said, Auntie, I just couldn't do it anymore. And I said, Why? What happened though? What was the turning point for you? What happened? And he said, listen, let me explain something to you. Do you know every single time that this girl would come into the house, she would take and put her shoes on top of my sneakers? And I said, yeah, what's that got to do with anything? He said, every single time she would come in the house, she would put her shoes on top of my sneakers. And I would say to her, Tessa, please don't put your shoes on top of my sneakers. He said, okay, next day she'd do the same exact thing. He said, finally, I just said, I can't deal with this girl anymore. I said, but did she cheat on you? He said, no. I said, did she disrespect you? He said, no. I said, and you feel you couldn't make it work? He said, Auntie, if she hears me telling her one thing that bothers me, and it's so little, and she does not want to fix it, what is the purpose of me continuing a relationship with her? Because the big things in life, like our children, our house, what's to say she's going to do anything different? So I'm going to cut it off right here, right now, and go on about my business. Boy, that was the best knowledge anybody ever kicked to me, because I would never have said you should give up on a relationship because somebody take and put their shoes on top of your sneakers. But it wasn't the shoes on top of the sneakers. It was the point of something so small you could not communicate with me, and I'm telling you that it bothers me and you'll continue to do it. So what is to make me believe that you will have any respect for me in the big decisions that we make in our lives?
Now, I would like you to go to your nephew 5 years from now and ask him how many women did he have to deal with that did 10 times worse, that he could have stuck that out and fixed that problem. Because if that's the only problem, I'm sticking that out. You know what? I'll put my sneakers on a place where she could not put her shoes on top. She's going to have to climb on top of the roof. Because if that's all, she's loyal, she's dedicated, and that's it. Nah, that's a minor decision. That's somebody that's making a decision.
All right.
That's so minor,
Vern,
and it will come back to cloud.
All right. So for me, Vern, I would actually understand and respect both of you views on that one. In regards to Anita's views, I understand in regards to if this person is disrespecting the small things, then you have to think about the bigger picture. Things, because the reality is, you might just look at it that, well, it's only shoes and I could put the shoes somewhere else. And of course, you will have to face people who would actually do worse than just putting the shoes on top. But what I'll look at is you're disrespecting and you're showing that you don't care about how the person actually feels. That's what I'm looking at. Forget about the shoe, because the shoe is just an object. But look at the bigger picture. It's not really about the shoe, but it's just really showing you that the person literally does not care about how you feel about the situation. So if the person show me clear indication from early out that I really don't care about how you feel about small things, I can assure you we'll have bigger problem going forward. While I do understand that, yes, while you might say, you know what, this is a relationship to walk away from, you will still find other women that will do way, way worse. So you might just be on a case where you will just be moving from one relationship to the next each time someone doesn't show you that kind of respect that you're expecting to receive. Of course, viewers, please remember to click that subscription button. Get us up to 30 likes, please. Proceed, Miss Vincent. I see you wanted to add something, or Vern, whichever one.
No, I agree with that. But again, it comes down to sacrificing who you are. And I'll tell you from experience, he is now with someone that respects him, who he communicates with. And I feel like if he would have moved the sneakers and put them somewhere else, how much more of himself does he have to sacrifice for her to say, okay, I respect you on this? What if 10 years down the line now, you don't put 10 years into it and you have children and you say, oh, I want my children to do this. And what's the likeliness if she couldn't respect you for one thing that she's going to respect you for something so big? Obviously, she don't hear it. She doesn't care about it. So why not put that effort into somebody else who does hear you, you may be willing to say, okay, let's move on from them. But you don't even want to talk about it. You don't even want to communicate it. You don't even sit and say, the funny thing is, why does it bother you when I put my sneakers there?
Of course.
Or, babe, why can't you move your sneakers over here? How about, babe, how about you get a shoe rack and we put our shoes on the shoe rack, or whatever it may be? But you just come in the door and you see the boy's sneakers there and you just throw your shoes on top of his sneakers? Come on. it may be signify, I'm not saying this is true about my nephew, but what if it signifies something a lot more different, that he worked hard to buy those sneakers and they mean something to him, and now here you are ruining them, and so it's signifying something different. But obviously he feel like she don't care about it. And I feel like in relationships, we do that a lot. We sacrifice things that are important to us for that other person, only sugarcoating it because there's more to come. That person is going to take more from it. If a person does not have consequences for their bad behavior, those behaviors will continue. There has to be a reason for that person to stop doing it.
Well, Anita,
There has to be a reason.
I think myself, along with Vern, should be able to agree on this, that as men, we are very big and keen when it comes to respect. So even though the situation might seem small where a shoe is concerned, but the fact that what I'm taking away from it is there was no respect being shown to the person that asks repeatedly, do not do this. I don't like it when you do this. And the person continue doing it. As a man, I know that I am big out where it comes to respect. I don't allow people to disrespect me. And I don't, I would expect no man whatsoever to allow any form of disrespect, whether it is from a female or a male, vice versa.
I feel that, and maybe because I grew up with a strong Black woman, but I feel that respect is earned. It's not given. And I feel that the sneaker issue, I think that would be easy to fix. It's isolated. So, I mean, I wouldn't take that as and I'm not a person that goes what if, because if I did what if, there's no perfect people. Like, we all have faults. We all we're gonna bump heads sometimes. So for me, in just this situation right here, I'm not tripping about that. I would have a conversation and just say, like, why do you keep doing this? What's the problem? And if she can't give me a good reason, then I'll move the sneakers. And then maybe I can get to the what ifs. Because if I move my sneakers and then she finds another way to disrespect me, then I know it's disrespect. But something like that, for me, that's really minor. I mean, we have young kids right now that put a lot of stock, and I'm not saying about your nephew, but they put a lot of stock into sneakers and stuff like that. And there's more important things in life than sneakers. Maybe that might be some of the baggage that she was carrying along with her. I'm not sure, but I'm going to figure it out. But I'm not just going to be like, well, you know what? You're good at 9 things out of 10, but that 10th thing you're not, so you got to go. Because I know that when I get out here in the world and start fishing again, I'm probably going to meet somebody that's good at 2. And now I'm really in trouble and I'm wishing that I was with the girl that only put her shoes on my sneakers. So.
All right.
Each person has their breaking point.
True. All right. Just to drift back over to the topic a bit, I don't remember if Vern got the chance to weigh in regards to the question at hand, which was what do you see as the ultimate sin in a relationship, and if you commit that sin, would you expect to be forgiven for it?
I gotta agree with everybody else. The ultimate sin would be having a baby, whether it's a man that has a baby or a woman that has a baby. For me, that would be good. And as far as giving, that's one of those questions that I couldn't answer unless I was in it. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes. But yeah, I just, that whole having a baby and have to look at the baby, and yeah, I could. And it'd be a problem. That would be, like, at least if you're gonna cheat, be smart. Like, nah, can't bring it up.
For me, I think the breaking one for me would be messing with a relative. For me, I think, like, there is no even a conversation. There will not be a conversation about why you do it, how you do it, why didn't you do something else. There will be no conversation. Out of all the men there in the world, if you decide to fool around with one of my relative, then yeah, I think that's just pretty much it.
Is there an expiration date on that?
No, definitely not. As I said, there will not even be a discussion. It's not even up for discussion. Yeah, like, pretty much it. I think that if that female get that idea in her head, I would advise that person just start packing whatsoever it is that they want to move in with that person, because as I said, there won't be any discussion about it. Once there's strong proof that it's actually done, then that's it for me.
So the expiration date, for real. So what if 20 years down the road, you like right now, you and your wife break up, and 20 years down the road, she talked to one of your cousins? You feel that that's wrong as well?
Yeah, man, not even cousin mode to talk to go back English. I wouldn't even I'm done with that cousin just the same, because that's like treason. Come on, there's so many women that you could have chosen. I don't believe in that. Like, it doesn't matter. I know for a fact there's no way I could ever fall in love with any of my relatives' spouse, any of my friends' spouse. Like, it's just not possible, because for one, I will not put myself in the position to even catch any form of feelings for that person. I won't put myself in that position.
So you would sacrifice your happiness?
Huh?
So you would sacrifice your happiness? That's what you do, right?
No, there won't be any happiness, because I would not put myself in that position in the beginning. So there will be no happiness. I can find happiness elsewhere. Huh?
I feel you, Jason, but here's my thing. And the reason why I said expiration date is because, like, if somebody's beautiful, they're not just beautiful to you. Like, they're beautiful to everyone. Like, so your cousin might say, okay, you two are not together anymore. Like, why do we have to not be able to kick it? Like, you're not with her no more.
No. There's so much women out there you can actually look at.
No, but this might be the perfect match. This might be that. The yin and the yang.
That's going to be awkward at the family reunion and all that. No, at the barbecue, no. It's not happening. Nope. It's not happening. Not happening. Maybe for someone else, but not for me. I know me. And for me, it's just, no, it's not going to work. I know that I wouldn't do it to any woman that I've been with. I would never try to have any form of sexual contact. Even though I consider them ex, I still have that level of respect in which I would never ever try to date any of their friends, even if they're not friends with the person anymore. I just don't care. I just don't try to make any form of contact or close contact with anyone like that, whether it's family or it's friend. That's just me. That's just my thing.
What if it happened, like, what if they were dating? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, we hear you.
What if they were dating in middle school, and then
Jason's not doing it.
That's different.
Jason's not dealing.
Come on, Jason.
Hold on. You're saying if they were dating before me?
Jason, the island is only so big. So
Hold
that
on.
means you better never, come on.
It's
Jason.
almost 3 million of us here. What I'm saying, if they were dating in middle school before I knew her, you're talking?
That's different.
I'm talking about if yes. And then you came across her later on, maybe 10, 15 years later, and you mean to tell me you're going to say no, because in middle school,
that doesn't count. Cousin? No, that middle school doesn't count. I'm referring to adult.
What about high school, Jason? What about high school then?
High school, it depends on how far in high school.
What about first year of college?
No.
Jason, you gonna do it, bro?
No. There's so much to choose from. I know. Listen, I know that there are so many options. Like, I know as a man, like, let me not say I have options, but there are so many to choose from. That's factual. Why do I need to choose someone that my brother, my cousin, my uncle was with to start a relationship with? Like, no. I won't look there. That's just me. Maybe I'm just weird, but that's just my thing. There are just certain things that I just don't and will never do.
Yeah, everybody has their own thing. What about Mrs. Producer? What's she saying about that?
Peter again.
I'm going to lean to Jason's side. Once we part, the family part too. I don't think you should be dating anybody that I used to date. And that's just what I believe in.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did she say that if she breaks up with somebody, the family got to break up with that person too?
Yes.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yes.
The whole family?
No, in what I mean is yes, because if we are no longer together, I mean,
you mean your family must not deal with The person
in a sexual way. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, in a sexual way, okay.
Right? So if we're not together, Jason is supposed to even look at my sister and I say, Abatironi, brother. Just call her your family.
English.
Sorry. So my sister would be automatically become your sister. So if we ain't talking, it's no royalty. So just don't talk to my sister. Go and look for my friend.
I think it's just respect at the end of the day. And if you really respect that person, genuinely respect that person,
right?
You will definitely, you won't even have any form of feelings for anyone that they have been with. Well, that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong, but
no.
Yeah.
I got another question. So how far on the family tree did this go? Like first cousin, second cousin?
No,
brother,
well,
like,
in Jamaica, if you're a cousin, you're a cousin here in Jamaica.
Jamaica.
We don't
You're
do
cousin,
second, third. If you're family, you're family. We don't care. We do not care.
Okay.
We have a lot of cousins that we don't know their parents.
Exactly.
But we know that you're a cousin. That's it. We
parents.
just want to know that you're a cousin. When we meet at the family get together and someone introduces you as cousin, well, welcome cousin.
to the family.
We have finally met. That's it. We're not gonna ask. So you are what generation are you? Okay, no, we don't care. From your family. That's it for us.
Okay.
Yeah, man, that's it for us.
What about in-laws?
In-laws?
Like you married in,
No.
and then like your brother married into another family, and now you guys are family, and then they get divorced, and you start talking to your brother's wife's sister.
No, no mess around. No in-law. No. As I said, there's a lot of option there. Like why you have to go. Like anything that can cause any form of complication or any kind of. I try to stay away from that. Anything that can cause complications.
It's crazy. Come on, you can't say all of that.
It's not crazy.
Anita,
it's gonna cause some problem because
it's factual. Like I know somewhere along the way, especially if kids are involved. Worse when kids are involved. It can I'm just saying. All right, problem. This is me. If we are together and we broke up, I am not the kind of person that I'm gonna stop dealing with your brother or your sisters. If we were family, we are family still until death do us part, unless they do me wrong in some way, shape, or form. However, I'm not going to continue hanging out with you 24/7 or hanging out with your brother 24/7, your sister 24/7 if I'm now in a new relationship, because that will seem as a form of disrespect to my current person. However, if it's a case in which we break off, I don't think that I should mess around with your sister because we're no longer together, or your cousin, or
I'm talking about in-laws. Come on, I mean if you have a large family. Me and Vern grew up in a very small town where I would say between the two of us, that would mean that we got one of the two largest families. I think we would all just die virgins with no children.
Yeah, I think it's respect. But I love the culture. I love the culture and the way that the cultures are different. That's so dope. I mean, this is where we were brought up. I don't for me personally. Like if I dated someone and I'm not dating them anymore, if my brother wanted to talk to me, I'd just be like, listen, you better be careful because this is why I'm not dating them.
I would say definitely not siblings or a close relative, but an in-law, maybe. I mean, more than likely, I don't want to have nothing to do with any of them because I'm cutting them all off.
Yeah, you're done with it.
This is how,
I can't say an in-law.
This is how I look at it. You see, if after we broke up, you have any form of sexual relationship with any of my relative, close relative, in-law, whatever it might be, I'm going to look at it that you always had that intention even while we were actually together.
No.
And it's not the first.
That is, remember, in most cases, Anita, think about it. In most cases, 99% chances are I am the one maybe introduce you to them. Think about it. So if 99% chances are I am the one who actually initially introduced you to them, then we're no longer together. Then when I look, you're with one of my in-laws or one of my relative, I'm going to think that this might have been going on for quite some time, or you already had that, one of you, either you or the other person already had it in your mind that, you know what, if this doesn't work out, then E will be my first choice.
I'm just saying, then you should have just made it work out. I'm just saying. You should have just made it work out. Because, nah.
Well, as I said, maybe it's a cultural thing, but I don't really see that happen much here. I know
Jamaica,
it does, but I don't see it happen often. I don't think it happen often here in Jamaica where someone will leave. I know one of few cases, but it doesn't happen often where someone would leave or two friends and then the man would leave and be with the other friend. I see it happen so often in the US where man goes off to fight war, doesn't come back. Brother decide to marry the sister, and it's the way of remembering him. Like, what the hell? Like, there's so many ways to remember him other than marrying his sister or his your brother wife. Like, come on, that's madness. But as I say, it's just a cultural difference. So try to respect each other's culture as best as possible.
Let me just make sure I'm getting this clear. Okay, so I have a sister-in-law who is married, right?
Mm-hmm.
My sister-in-law is married. We go to a barbecue. I meet her husband. Me and my husband break up. Her and her husband break up. I cannot talk to her husband.
No. Not in the Jamaican culture.
No.
All right.
So
let me write that down real quick.
When you say talk to us and have a relationship with?
Yeah, have a relationship.
Oh, no, Anita, no, Anita, no, you cannot. It's conflict of interest.
That is.
Conflict of interest. Yeah, conflict of interest. No, you can't do that, Anita.
No, we don't do that.
You don't do that. Like,
not that I'd want to.
Once it's too close to home, you don't mess around. If you don't know, that's different. Like, because we know cases where you can actually start dating someone and later on you found out that this person is a family. That's different. You can it happens. Remember, we are on a small island here. It happens. It happens. It does happen. We don't have 52 states here. So it does happen. Right. Where people start dating and found out that they're relatives. Some decide to continue the relationship, like, I don't know why, but yeah. But what I'm saying, if you didn't know, it's totally different from you knew from the get-go and you went ahead and started a actual relationship with your cousin, whether it's first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. Like, it's cousin. Just...
Do we have any comments? Do you have any comments in the thing of any... I want to hear somebody else's, like... That's a little bit too much for me.
All right. Where do I start? All right.
Start from Sanjay.
Okay, there's a Miss Hazel Clark. Do you see a comment from Miss Hazel Clark?
Who is your sister?
Who is my sister, and she's also a licensed mental health clinician. So her opinion would count on this.
No,
I'm just saying.
No, I'm not seeing anything from her.
Don't be telling my secrets, Vern, please.
I see someone saying Shannon is extremely quiet person.
Who's Shannon?
My husband. He is. That's why we mesh so well together, because I am on 10 and he's on 2. Right, Shannon? That's sure.
Yeah, right. You can tell him to come and sit.
Those are those communication skills I was talking about.
Yeah, that's all you'll get, sure.
Right? Right, exactly.
All right. The shoes on sneakers, despite saying it all the time, is actually disrespect. It's the principle. People do not take disrespect for the sake of being in a relationship. Vern, it is the principle. As a man, it depends on how high on the list you put respect. You not weird, Jason. I feel that way too. From Jamie Parker. Yeah.
That's my sister.
Oh, Hi, Miss Parker.
Jamie Parker. I don't want my last name to be Dents.
To be what?
She said she feel that way too because her husband's last name is Dents. I said I don't want my last name to be Dents.
Oh.
Meaning I'm not. No. Come on, sister and brother and all those close relatives. No, that's different. But I'm talking about in-law. Like her husband's name is Jay. I'm gonna say Jay. So if he has a brother, then that means I can't talk to his brother either.
No, Anita.
No, I don't want to, but I'm just saying that's all. Like
No,
it's
Anita.
nothing to me.
No, Anita.
Let's see.
No, Anita. Anything that's too close to family, you just leave that alone. You have plenty of options elsewhere.
Sure.
Go
In the
ahead.
United States, we have a lot of play cousins.
Huh?
Right?
Yeah, we have a lot of play cousins. Like they really not your cousin. They just you all grew up together, and you call each other family.
Here, same in Jamaica. We have a lot of cousins. That
Well,
we're not related
in
to.
Jamaica, most times when we do say cousins, there's normally some kind of linkage though. Either by, all right, you can be my cousin in Jamaica by you being with one of my stepmom. Or I'm just saying, like, it doesn't necessarily, you doesn't necessarily have to be my cousin because you call my mom aunt. Our cousin line, it doesn't work like that. But as long as you are related some way, somehow, we call you family. So yeah, that's it for us.
Even if you're not related. But even if you're not related,
I respect it.
once you have the link, we're family.
Yeah, man. Link right show. All right. So anything else you guys want to add before we wrap up? Anything you want to share?
Appreciate the invites. Very appreciative of having us on here and all of the comments and all of the feedback. And it's always good to hear about different cultures and how things are the same and how things are different.
You're definitely welcome. Yourself, Mr. Vern?
I just want to go back to the very first conversation before I leave because I was able to speak on that and just about parenting. I just think there's no handbook for parenting. So a lot of us and most of us that grew up in broken homes, we only knew what we didn't want to happen. And I think that formed, bad parenting skills. Like even to today, I'm still learning how to be a parent. I have an 11-year-old, I have a 33-year-old, and I'm still learning how to be a parent. So one of the things that Anita said about her twin daughters, corrected her and telling her about communication, I agree. As we grow as parents, we learn from our kids. When I grew up, me and my friends, none of us had our fathers. We never met our fathers. So we used to make fun of all the kids who had fathers in their house. One day I started thinking oh no, that's my son. Now the kids that I used to make fun of is my son. So now I have to prepare my son for these type of people that are hurt because they grew up in broken families. So communication, respect, and it is a huge part of parenting. I do think women get off a little bit easier than men, but I just think it shouldn't be about the money. It should be about happiness.
I think you're being nice there to say a little more.
Well, I threw some shots at the women today, so I just try to pick my battles. I'm sacrificing my happiness so that so it won't seem that bad. But I do think they get off a little bit easy.
You agree on that one, Anita?
Yeah, I do. I think that there's a lot. I can't say much because I really know that Vern is a great father, and not only he as a community. We grew up in a very small community, whereas his mom was like mom to me, and my mom was like to people in the neighborhood, and we all did what we could do to raise each other. So you don't know everything, but as you get older, hopefully you learn and you can make a difference.
True. Anything you want to add, Mr. Vincent?
Whatever.
I told you he wanted to talk. I knew it.
No, he's trying to leave. You see, he's trying to leave.
Listen, we're gonna do this one thing. At the count of three, me, Vincent, and Jason, I'm gonna say manpower. We just gonna growl. I mean, just so that we still got this masculinity here, the respect for men. Because Anita was really, I don't know what she was doing on here. And I had to pop in. I was watching. I was like, oh, I gotta come in. I gotta come.
Come on now. I'm serious. We have to get better at communicating.
I agree.
The family has to be at the forefront going forward. We have to bring back some of those traditional values. You know, when you lose that parents in your, like my mom, when my mom and my aunts, I come from a very big family. And when they all passed away, it's like the family crumbles. It crumbles. And it's like the generations are all different. I grew up in the same household with my cousins. They were like more like my brothers to me and my sister, you know, that's how it was. But now my children don't even know their cousins. They don't even know. And
true.
Communities are not the same as they used to be. Relationships are not the same as they used to be. There are statistics that I always say statistics, and I like to research it. But if you look back, it was so shameful in the day to be a single parent, to not be a married woman, to have 3 baby daddies or 3. None of that is true anymore. Women are getting pregnant by men purposefully without even the men's knowledge or even having that discussion of who is going to raise the children, how are things going to go, and just making the decisions. There's no more family unit. We have to get back to where those things are. And we will never be able to do that if we don't learn to communicate with each other, if we don't learn to find out what it is that that other person needs from me, and what is it that I need to be able to give to that other person.
Agree.
They have a saying here in Jamaica that you have to bend the tree from its young. All right. So in order to bend the tree from its young,
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. What it means is you have to start from the base. So the base would be the younger siblings. As you said, when you were growing up, there was a bond with you and your cousin, which like brothers and sisters. It was the same for me growing up as well. I notice now that my kids don't even care about cousins or anything because they have a device in their hand in which they can communicate with people all around the world on social media and all that. So to them, they're not missing that family thing that we had back then. We didn't have internet. We didn't have all those things to go to talk to anyone but just what we have under our roof. For them now, like to them, they don't need nobody else. They have friends. To them, they have so much friends. They get caught up in the followers, the this, the that. So unless we can fix that and teach them that, hey, listen, nothing is as important as family, because you can have 5 million followers and you take sick tomorrow. You might not see one of them at your bedside while you're actually in the emergency room, but you might just see a family member. So unless we can teach it to them, then the next generation will be pretty much the same or worse.
I think that one of the things that we were failing to realize or remember, when all of our cousins used to come over to the house, we hated. And the reason why, they didn't come because they wanted to. They had no other place to go. So most of us in this new generation now, we put our families in situations where we don't have to have our kids all sleeping on the floor. We don't have to have 10, 15 kids there. So we're growing, but we still need to keep that family bond. I mean, as Anita said, our families are big. I mean, even some of Anita's sisters are my sisters, like literally, like we call each other brother and sister because we all were at the same house every Sunday. We went to the same house. We just have to get back. And one of the things our parents and our grandparents didn't do, they didn't communicate. We were told, stay out of grown folks' business. They didn't teach us how to take the torch, how to pass the torch. So that's why when the older people pass away, we don't even know what to do. Like we're stumbling, I mean, literally in Thanksgiving, they had an adult table and a kids table. Like we couldn't even eat with the adults. So I think that has a lot to do with our culture. So us as the new OGs and the new aunties and stuff like that, we have to communicate with these kids and make sure that we remind them about family, keep pushing that, and give them all the keys to success. Because if not, it's going to continue to get either further and further apart. And that's just my opinion, because I'm from a big family. And my family right now, we try to get together at least once a month, where all of us get together. We pick a house and like everybody's coming over, and whoever can make it, just so that our kids can know who they are and know each other. But
I need to be there because all of them can throw down with some food. So you let me know what day that is, because oof.
Now y'all know y'all did not like sleeping on the bed with 13 of your cousins. Whenever you had your favorite
We
cousin.
did. We used to do head to toe. We do head to toe.
Yeah.
One sleep on the head, one sleep on the toe. If one wet the bed, we all wet.
But the bed, you didn't like that when you were growing up. It's like, I don't care. I remember my mom was living, I wouldn't even let my kids go stay the night there. Because I'd be like, there's too many kids there. You got your own space. And now I wish I'd be like, damn, I should have just did it. So it's just passing the torch. That's all. Communication should be the title of this whole podcast.
It's key.
Yes.
Very, very
yes.
It's key. Yeah, definitely communication is key. Of course, I want to take the time out to thank you all, to take the time out of your evening to join and sit in with us. Was definitely a lovely discussion. Hopefully in the future we can have even a bigger one, a bigger audience and all that. And just wish you guys all the best as well. Hopefully Anita can get Mr. Vincent to communicate the way she does or wants him to. And hope that Vern doesn't decide to date any of his relatives in the near or far future.
I'm married, man. I'm not dating nobody. I'm not entertaining nobody. I'm focused, man.
All right, man. Good. All right. So thank you guys for joining once more. And thanks for making it YS Convo, and hope you all enjoy the rest of the evening. All right?
Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Go tell a friend about YS Convo, because listen, YS Convo is the next big thing. We are going to take you places. We are promoting artists, promoters, entertainers, everybody. Guys, remember, like, share, and subscribe, because the YS Convo are the next big thing. Is it me?
Ship for less. We ship just about anything that you may want to have purchased overseas. Our rates are very competitive compared to all the, let's say, the name brand in the industry. We do free delivery in and around Montego Bay, on the outskirts of Montego Bay. You can visit our Instagram page at #ShipForLessJA, Facebook ShipForLessJA, or you can even visit our website at ShipForLessJA.com. We are located at 4 Sewell Avenue, which is more commonly known as Upper Deck. So for all the Montegonians, you should know where Upper Deck is located, and we're located off the steep hill on Top Road. Check out our webpage, complete our sign up, which is free, less than 2 minutes. Make sure and sign up.